What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, clubs, traders? Hope you guys doing absolutely fantastic. Hope you guys are feeling good. Hope you guys are feeling like Michael Burry and Warren Buffett today. Yeah, they're buying some stocks, buying a few names. Those names are running, and the SPY kind of going with it. So that was a solid one day of PPI disaster. That was one. I mean, we went short on most trades and they worked, but by the end of the day, we just could not keep the bulls away. Unlike Al in the house. Good morning to you. Good morning to you, Anna. Good morning to you, Andrew, Bill, Brad, Brian, Cheryl, Sydney. Good morning to you, Dragon, Joe, JT, Lauren, Lucian, Marius, Michael, Mike. We got Russ, Sarah, Shane, Virginia, Walter, all my people out in YouTube land. Good morning to all you, all my lurkers in the background. I'm just not gonna say nothing all day. It's okay. I still love you. Hit that like and subscribe button, but yeah, I mean, just a testament to what we've been seeing. And I was kind of worried yesterday because I'm really enjoying my pattern. And I thought we were going to ruin the whole thing yesterday. You got a good red, green, red, green, red, green. I'm a Christmas kind of guy. Christmas kind of guy. And we threw in the red 2 days ago. And I was like, man, I don't know. PPI, that those numbers look weak. It looks like we're probably going to break down from here. I was expecting a retest. Even the first initial retest, I was like, this thing is we're overdoing it. We're trying to figure out what could kill us and taking it back a little bit. Uh, we figured out how to end green to cover the price action, not a full bullish engulfing candle day over day, but we did fully bullish engulfing candle the opening and closing price of the Wednesday candle. So really strong still. Very hard to get in the way of these bulls. Unfortunately, toward the top of this move, as we got into resistance, my plan was let's buy some puts because I don't think it lasts. Maybe we'll see how that's the case. We have some options expiring today. We do have a little bit of a retest gap for today. So if we get back down to 645-ish, 645.01, that's where I think our support is. I'll probably just look to bail and pretty pretty close to break even on some of those stocks or some of those contracts, those puts, and then look to just probably continue the bullish momentum. Right now, though, we're about to they keep pushing this market. Right now, we are about to open above that high wave candle. We'll see. We've got 26 minutes left, but everything looks bullish. Again, I'm a little concerned that we could maybe get some kind of retest. I think if we open inside this high wave candle, our likelihood, our chances that we actually get a full retest will increase to 645.01. If we are opening above that high wave candle, I don't even know if I still would like to see the 645.09 or 645.01, but I think our likelihood uh, probability dies down a little bit of a full on retest, and we might just act as if this is a gap and go and just crazy run with it. So we'll see. SPY looking super strong at open, surviving PPI. We got some Warren Buffett, Michael Burry, and a slew of other investors coming out today, dropping their 13Fs. We'll see. Qs. Qs, we've got not as strong yet. Again, a lot of the stocks that were purchased were value names, the Warren Buffetts of the world stepping in. These are still Qs, more mainly tech. So you're not seeing the same velocity in Qs. Does not mean that the SPY can't just slingshot the Qs right over some of the resistance. But notably, we do have some. We're still holding a support. So I'm looking at my support 579.60. That first resistance somewhere around 580.02. And then I'm looking for some kind of next bigger resistance around 580.19. So we'll see where we want to open. Right now, it looks like we're stuck in between two very tight ranged support resistance. SPY out of control. So if that one can make its move, then maybe Qs can follow and we do see some upside. But for right now, I'm not as confident that we're going to make that play. Bigger move on Qs. Qs look a little bit weaker than some of the value names. Bitcoin, BTC, USD. Jimmy the Stick says, any swing trades being considered? Side note, returned from my pool tournament in Las Vegas, finished 64th out of 800 teams. That's wild. Jimmy the Stick is out there crushing the billiards. Bitcoin. Yeah, well, I think we talked about a few swing trades potentially yesterday that were looking good. I forget what they are. I didn't take any. Not yet. We'll see. We'll see if we find some today. But if there's any that you are looking at, we can pull those up as well. We got Bitcoin is hanging out, so that's still a bearish engulfing candle. SPY looks stronger than Bitcoin today. SPY so far the strongest one. We have some resistance 118,858 on Bitcoin. We've gotten past that once. Support, I would be looking for 118.19. So kind of for Bitcoin world, that's a pretty tight spot before resistance and support. So we'll see. Maybe we just get this inside day, or we just rally back the next target to the higher side, 119.961. And then I could see actually a move back to this 121.682 as well, but still facing that bearish engulfing candle. And right now it looks like we're just kind of resting for now, but watch those early resistance. If we start closing above them, then we'll see if we get some rally later today, or probably Saturday, Sunday in Bitcoin world. All right, we got some tickers coming in. Let's pull those up. Amazon and Roblox, AMZN. I forget who was buying this one. Bill Ackman, I think. So it came out yesterday in his report that they are buying some Amazon, have a position. I think we're seeing a little bit of follow through on this one. Still inside day. I think it's more likely that we come back. We at least, I don't know if we hold it, but we at least retest this 231.44. So I think if you're trying to go bullish, I think you have a high probability this thing will pull back, will fade. You do have your next resistance, your first resistance at 232.88. If you can break through that, I think your next target takes you to 234.33, 234.42, something like that. And that would be a big spot for Amazon. Again, the report was released, I think it was like 3:50 last night. 3:50 yesterday. So right before the bell was closed, and then I think we had a few more coming out after the bell as well. So the one thing is the news is out. There's traders after hours trading the markets, and some of those guys already made their money. So be careful on any of those names that did come out for today, at least. You might see some profit taking on some of those, especially the bigger moves. Before we get to Roblox, we'll take a look at Amazon. We'll take a look at UNH. I think this is one of the bigger ones. You had not only Warren Buffett buying this one, but also Michael Burry, plus a whole bunch of other investors came out saying that they were buying UNH. So something like this, I don't know. We are at a monster resistance. This 301.08 zone, 301.10, something like that. Let's put it at 301.32. So we're slightly underneath, slightly above it now. We're just fighting back and forth. But if we can get closing above it, that might be decent. Otherwise, this is a lot of buying into this. I think probably some people were maybe expecting UNH fits the Warren Buffett criteria, and this might be one of the names that he was buying and adding. So you might already have some of that news baked into this one. You are at a pretty decent resistance. I don't know that I'd be going long on something like this on this gap up. The Amazon trade, I think a smaller pullback, maybe get more continuation on it. Something like this, I think you probably have, I mean, you're up 10, 11%, something like that. So we'll see if this one can continue to climb higher. I do think now, so I was asked a few times by some of you guys, when should we buy the leaps? For me, it was not here. For me, we're still kind of on this downtrend. So I want to see some kind of change in the narrative, change in the story. I think now that you have some other investors coming in besides just the CEO that was buying some, which caused that first spike. If we get some kind of pullbacks, on those pullbacks, I think we have enough built in where we're starting to get confidence from outside of the company itself. If we get those pullbacks, and especially around like this 271.72, if we get there, I would be interested in maybe somewhere around 285. If you guys are interested in those leaps on pullbacks, now I think is a better time to look for those leaps. Again, if you were buying them here, you're probably still down in your position. Yep, because you sat through a few months now of sideways chop. It looked good for a second. The price action was down. On these pullbacks, I think those leaps look a little bit better if you can get them. They still have a lot to do. They still got to turn around the company, but you're starting to see the story, the narrative change a little bit. So for you guys that wanted those leaps, even at this price, not bad. But I think if this thing can pull back, now you get a little bit better price plus that time for the leaps on your contract. So just take a look at that. But we are opening into a little bit of resistance. I think maybe we get that fade. We'll see how this one goes. I am in it. I was buying it, buying shares again down here, not leaps, but shares down here. So I'm up. It's in the long term, so I'm holding. Regardless what happens, if it does pull back, I'll be adding to that position as well for UNH. It's just the value is crazy. I know the story's not great, but the value is crazy. Roblox down, but why? Kathy Woods, ARK, ETFC's record. No, oh no. Don't tie Kathy Woods to it. Uh, this came in yesterday. Let's see. I don't know if this is the news that was dropping at the flagship. ARK led the charge, ranking, yada yada yada, massive move, stunning lows, reallocations. Yeah, I don't know. Did she sell some of the Roblox share? I'm not sure why this is getting hit. I don't see any immediate news. I just see a Kathy Woods headline, and I almost hit the sell, but I don't have shares, and I almost tried to sell it. Other than that, we'll see where this opens. It's probably going to battle this zone. This is a pretty big spot for 115.33. So if we stay above it, this is a retest gap. I don't know that we fully retest this one, but as we witnessed the markets yesterday just buy everything at no matter what price or valuation would make the most sense, apparently. So maybe we get up to this 126.65. I don't think I'd be targeting that. I think I'd be looking for like a 119.96. So right around that 120 zone. And then if we start to break through, then you have a lot more room. Probably the next target 122.54 and 124.21. Anything that's opening or any stock price below, let's go with 115.33. I think your next target to the downside takes you to about 112.57. So I wouldn't jump the gun on buying it if it is below that price. I would let this thing fade a little bit more. I wouldn't go short at that level either, just because there's some support coming in not too far away. I think eventually, if even if this thing dips, and I think we probably get bought up on open, but if this thing does dip, I think looking to buy some shares or looking for some sideways chop around this 112.50 zone would be your spot. Let's put this one a little bit higher. It's got range on both sides. I prefer a little bit more bullish than bearish. I don't really see any crazy news unless I'm missing something. You guys let me know if I am. It's very possible. I'll get this one higher though. But to the bullish side, we got some range on it. CLF. CLF, Cleveland Cliff. 2 days of buying, one of them being inside. I think the Wednesday candle is a little bit more predominant. You are opening at maybe slightly above. We'll see again where this one opens, but I got my first resistance on this one, $10.76. I have another one, much bigger, stronger resistance at $10.85. So I think we might be limited to the higher side. Um, Anything after that, it's 1087. So yeah, very, very tight range to the bull side. I think maybe on a swing trade basis, maybe could start looking decent. That looks like a little bit of we got a couple of inverted head and shoulders. So you have a left shoulder, head, right shoulder. So that looks decent. In a longer term picture, you have a left shoulder. This entire thing is the head. It looks like we're trying to put in a right shoulder. So you might get a decent move. Swing trade wise, all of our main volume is sitting somewhere around $7.50. So we've definitely cleared through that. We've gotten past some other bigger key volume spots. Uh, Notably, if you can get through $12, you should have a decent amount of gasoline in that tank. So we'll see what happens, but not bad. I think this will probably retest, and I think on that retest maybe could be worth setting up for a buy the dip for a swing trade, especially if you can get the price as close as possible to $10.31. But you're going to find, I think, a little support first. and that's probably my target for today to the short side. Not a huge target to the short side, $10.46. So I would say it's a little. I wouldn't go short, wouldn't go long at open. If it does pull back, the buy the dippers, $10.46 would be your spot for Cleveland Cliffs Kiss. Maybe if you buy me dinner first. Got Coles. We've seen it do crazy things. This is the day it went up 100%. I think it was probably over 100%. But yeah, wild, wild day. Obviously, lots of volume on that. We had the squeeze come in. Uh, Bears were able to slam this thing down. I think some of those shorts got a little bit worried after that day if they were able to hold through this. And just most likely hedge funds probably piled back into the shorts. They did the same thing with GameStop. The only thing with GameStop is you had, and I'm not saying this is a $800 stock. I own some shares, so I hope so, but I don't think so. The short float is just way different than what GameStop had. Other than that, though, the same thing that they did on GameStop is as the stock started to rise, those guys do not like to lose money, so they were able to kind of add on to the shorts, to borrow money on top of borrowed money to try to push this thing down. The one difference between Kohl's and GameStop was Roaring Kitty and the apes from Wall Street Bets just constantly buying, and retails were able to win the battle, at least in the short term on GameStop. This one, I don't think we have the wild internet sensation that GameStop had, but same concept. I think what happens is you got this squeeze. A lot of those short investors were absolutely tapped, probably had to borrow money to get themselves out of the situation. They were successful. But as we kind of came back down, I think they started to take some of that risk off the table just in case GameStop 2.0 started to come out. So I think we started to lose some shorts on this one. Um, but big key level is this $14.51 zone. So we're gapping slightly underneath it. But if we could start to ignite that one, you're kind of free to run, I think. I think any other shorts that are in this one probably starts to tap out right around that zone. We got a nice close up into it. So again, small little gap down by a penny for right now, nothing crazy. So if we could get above, I'll go a little bit higher on this one, 1450. I like it for continuation for today. We've already had a few days in a row bullish. If we open and cannot get above 1450, look for maybe a little retest at 1396 or 1367 in that zone for a little bit of a pullback first, and then maybe it goes through. But yeah, looking decent on a daily. I've got a bigger volume up at $18.31. So on a 1450 stock, that is a pretty good bounce on that one. Lulu. And I think there was still a bunch of shorts in on Coles. So I think that you still have some probably wild moves. Just I think a little bit less than that first day that just went crazy. Lululemon. I think was it I don't know if Warren Buffett bought this one. I think it was Michael Burry that bought this one. I could be wrong on that. Maybe it was Warren Buffett. I don't think it was though. I think it was Michael Burry. But this was another one that did come out. Some investors were buying this one. We don't have the big OG Warren buying it. But yeah, pretty good gap and go from yesterday. I would say this is probably going to act a little bit more retest. Most of yesterday's candle was inside day. You still have your next resistance somewhere around 202.32. Earnings on this one, pretty much right around the corner. So August 28th. I think we got what, another week or 2 weeks. But see if this one wants to come back for a retest. Maybe give us a high wave candle at open. Names like this one, based on the reports that kind of came out of what investors buying. This one maybe could spark a little bit of interest. Plus, you have the Michael Burry effect. It has not gone as crazy as UNH, but 202.32 doesn't give us great risk reward to be buying at open. So if we get a pullback, see what happens at 199.63. If we can get some kind of consolidation, double bottom, high wave candle, hammer, something in that zone around that price, where intraday we can get a good risk reward. I think that would be decent. Again, I'm in on this one. I'm still down on this position. I was gonna add to it this month, but then I went with UNH instead. So I'm kind of hoping they absolutely get obliterated on earnings. at least one more time. I'm not at the position I want to be. I got a lot more, couple more months of adding to this one, but I do like it personally. So we'll see what happens. Other than that, look for a small pullback. I don't know if the range is going to be too crazy on Lulu for today. It's already moved a decent amount, but I think retailers are starting to look at some of these names and trying to test the water. We also had the last few days value names, and I'm going to put Lulu into the value camp. I think it's like 13 times earnings at this point. So you do have a little bit of value built in. Again, they don't have any debt. The cash flow is still solid, so I don't care what people say. I think it's still a decent company. I know competition and pricey yoga pants. I get it. You got Intel. Yeah, I was doing a 101 with somebody yesterday. We were looking at this chart for Intel, and this is let me take these lines off. This is how we would have been looking to play that one. Intel still has they're starting to get the Trump story. They've been meeting with Trump. Trump has been talking about maybe the US buying into Intel on a daily basis. We'll take all the news out. That was a really good breakout candle. We had a previous pivot somewhere around 23.82. Obviously, this is going to be a retest gap for today with all of the 1, 2, 3, 4 days of buying. Yesterday being a massive one. How much of a retest do we get? I don't know. It could be the full amount. It's still Intel at the end of the day. And we are opening into a little bit of resistance. If we could get above, let's see if we get candles closing above 25. That might set us up to get a little bit of a further push, 25.69. And then I think a really, really big target on this one is 25.96. Jimmy the Stick was asking for swing trades. I think on a personal level, I think that this is a lot of consolidation. Lots and lots of consolidation. I think on pullbacks, this one might give a decent opportunity. Even on a longer term basis, we're kind of at a big resistance. We've been here a few times. So if this one could pull back a little bit, I think eventually we probably break, and we probably break northbound on this one. It's still relatively cheap. I know it's just out of favor. And a lot of these stocks are going to take some time for some of those reversals too. But the next target on this one takes you to about $29.30. We'll call it $30. And then after that, you got about $35 on the agenda. So it's got some room to the higher side from here, being $24, $25. Um, right now, kind of into that resistance, and there's probably some profit taking coming into that resistance as well. So I think this one most likely probably fades for today, but we'll see if the bulls can do some bullish things and get us above some of those resistance. I am in there with some leaps, $15 strikes. So I'm in it. Hopefully it breaks, but we will see. Joby. Jobsters. That looks wild. Joby Aviation. Hmm. Unfortunately, I think it's going to act a little like a retest gap. This we are gapping above that previous pivot. However, that was more of a retest gap. We never really broke out of that candle. So I think the candle from Tuesday is going to be the most relevant. We do have our next resistance on this one around $18.86. Other than that, I think looking for a retest probably into this $18.14 mark would be where an interesting spot. We do have obviously a little bit of higher lows coming in, which is nice. We are starting to close that gap, so I think some investors probably or traders looking for like 1886, and we're very close to that. I think on pullbacks, this one could be interesting to kind of continue this move up. Again, they have a story, but it just their stories are they'll come out for one day, everybody loves it, and then they do nothing for a little bit, and then the story resurfaces, and you get more White House talk about aviation, and then you get your pump. So it's very highly tied into Trump administration, the White House, and anytime they get mentioned, they're going to move. So I think buying a couple shares on a pullback, which I think we do get a pullback, could be an interesting move. It's already up there. The other one I like besides Joby, Joby's going to be the stronger one, but uh, ACHR Archer. I don't know if we're gapping up on this one today so far, but you're getting some of that story still. Anytime that story gets pumped, Joby I think is going to be your number one stock in the field. But I do like Archer as well, and it does put in some pretty decent sized moves today. Gap and go. You're not close to all time highs. You have a ways to go to get there. You are still above key volume, which is somewhere around $9.95. Nice little high wave candle came in yesterday. You're taking that out. You're gonna have some tight resistance on this one as well. $10.32 to $10.34. Anything above that, this looks like we kind of just came down, held support again, and tries to make its move. So for a trading perspective, value perspective, I like Archer for just fundamentals. Joby is a little bit better. Tesla's starting to get a little bit of a wild looking candle in there right now. We got IBM. We only have 2 minutes left. Crazy. Not much on IBM for today yet. Maybe if you're looking for a swing, let's see if that's kind of setting up. You are at a little bit of support. You got a little bit of support in here. You got some untested VPOCs all the way back down to like 226.62. If the market wants to sell off, I know that's a wild concept, but if the market actually wants to sell off, maybe get IBM lower. Otherwise, risk reward basis, kind of chilling. You had one good gap and go, one inside resting candle, at least for today, and you do have some range actually for day trade. I think your target to the bull side is 240, so it's going to get you almost $3. If you're buying it as close as possible to 237.12, I think that's your best bet. That's going to get you that better risk reward, and that would probably securely lock in a $3 gain on you. Otherwise, this still looks healthy. So you had a gap and go, stayed inside, although that's a bearish gap and go yesterday from Wednesday's candle. But we did come down. We did test support. Swing trade basis. Maybe if you're going to try this thing, stops around 233.27. But your confirmation is, can you get some closing back above 240.10? And then next target will take you into this like 242.78 zone. So potentially still in a pretty big downtrend, but you are at a little bit of longer term support. No real edge. High wave candle, something like that, get to 237, and I think you might have some room for a bullish move on an inside day. Let's see, we got DAL. I'm definitely not getting to all the tickers today. Too much. We got too many. We got Delta. Um, if it stays above 59.28, I think that looks decent. That is the bell. Otherwise, pullback spot would be 58.28. It looks good from a possible continuation spot, so I think buying the dip could make sense. You got 61.27. Other than that, whew, the alerts are flying in. There's a whole bunch of tickers I didn't get to, but yeah, that's the morning bell. So everybody on YouTube land, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button if you've not done so already. Other than that, you guys are incredible, and I'll catch you guys